back on the valve body. I got all this stuff set up, but I'm not happy with the way this is going. This does not want to push back and return, so I'm going to keep adjusting this one. Try and figure out what's going on here. So, pull the snap clip. A lot of testing here since I haven't really done it before, but I think I found a couple things that I put in upside down. So this, the spring, and this. I had this cup going over this. I think it actually drops in this way, and that actually goes into the valve like so. Did have all of this working, and I decided to stop working. So that I need to figure out. Now it's getting stuck out here, even without any parts in there. So I need to get that figured out. This valve doesn't like going back in and out of the bore anymore. So let me try and get this out all the way. Very difficult to get to. So we got that separated now. Essentially how this should lay out, this should go in all the way through the bore. Then your spring, and your bracket, or other piece here like so. And this is what I had in here backwards. I had this going this way before, where this would drop in. Then the cup and the spring like so. Which I think was putting too much pressure on it because it was backwards. So, I'm going to relay this out. Uh-oh. I believe this actually goes in this way. And the spring will sit in here, like so. So let me clean all these up real quick, re-soak them in some trans fluid. And we'll drop this guy back in. Man, I don't know what happened or why this thing got so tight. There we go. That's what we wanted. I just had, when I had that spring turned around the wrong way, it was putting way too much pressure right there. So this valve was fighting itself. That's what we're looking for. Easy press in and return. So you guys can see that. That's working much better than it was. Now we're ready to pretty much put the check balls back in. So I got the instruction book right here. We're just gonna line all of these up. Let's start at the bottom. So we have check ball right here, right here, 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 there. That's unfortunate. I don't know when the mic died, so how much of that you got, I have no idea. Happens every time. It's the worst part about using extra mics, I guess. But transmission's flipped on its side, so now I want to take out this shifter section because we are going to be replacing that with this before we get into the valve body. There's just a lot more room, so we need to get this off. So 13/16 wrench, which I have not had in a while. They do not give you a lot of room to get in here. I have to start grinding these down. There we go. Just braking it's the hard part because it's going to want to push itself into the park position. 2. Pin's supposed to come right out, but why would that ever happen? Nothing's going to go just the way it's supposed to. Throwing some heat on here. Hoping that should give me enough to yank this out of the case. Oh, got lucky. Barely grabbing with the vice grips on there. Now, everything's too hot to touch, but we got the nut off, so this is all free floating. The shifter's not too bad. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna let that cool a little bit. I don't need to go burning myself this early in the morning. Way too impatient for my own good. So this is still kind of warm, but shifter selector shaft then will come right out. Should come right out. Like so. There's the spring that's going to drop down at the bottom. Oh, everything's super warm. This is what we're replacing with this. What I would like to do is just make sure that we have all the parts we need. So this does come with a new seal, which is much needed. Probably not a bad idea to replace this other seal that's on here, but we're not going to do that. Realistically, a little ATF on here is probably a pretty good idea too, with the new seals. So I'll drop a couple drops around this seal. So. And then we lost the spring on the bottom here, so I just got to make sure that we get that back on. This can come back and we can start the nut. Give you guys a better angle here. So here's the nut. I'll get this going back on here. Are these threads different? Oh, Chinese crap. That's what you get for going with Chinese stuff. Now that one's warm. Alright, here's the old one. There's the new one. The threads look different, but actually they do mesh up pretty good. Okay. This is a me issue, not a Chinese part issue. So quick to blame them. It's the level of quality with crap that I typically get. Alright, so this is slotted for the actual shifter part, which we can adjust once we start messing around with tightening up the nut. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to tighten this nut down at all prior to putting the rest of the linkage on the top side. But we're going to try. Okay, I got to put this on because I can grab this with a pair of vice grips and snug these down. So we'll put 2 bolts in here just to get enough leverage to start tightening down that nut. Well, I didn't turn the camera on for that, but 3 bolts with lock washers go onto there. This is fully clockable, so I just slapped it in wherever I could fit it. Now, that should give me enough leverage to tighten down this nut and get this thing started again. In theory, I think it was just those first couple threads that were a little wonky, because now this thing seems to be threading on pretty good. So once we take some of the tension off, now we're just going to make sure that this lines up on the actual shifter gate, like so. We can snug this nut back down, like that. And that's probably a good idea to make sure that we got our spring oriented correctly as well. So this is going to go on and grab here. Like so. We'll have to fine tune and adjust this part at the end. But just kind of get it set-ish. Yeah, we'll tighten that down first and then we'll worry about the linkage. I think that makes a little more sense. Okay, there we have it. Fully adjustable linkage now. Roller for detent it back in. Where did this one go? Oh, I think this goes on top of the valve body. We'll come back to that one, because I think that goes through this bolt hole. It's just a little roller that gives you your gear feel for the clicking. So I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for now, because I need to go to the shop and get some work done. Linkage is roughly set, and then we'll get this all figured out, locked in, before we put the valve body back on. I think you can do it after, that's why it's all notched, but there's a lot more room when everything's apart. So, shift kit is installed on the valve body. This is ready to go back in. We just got to do some surface cleaning and finalization in here. And then we get to start putting all the rest of the stuff in the pan and the filter and all that jazz back on. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. Fingers crossed this is a good trans and I didn't just waste a bunch of time, but worst case scenario, the trans that's in the Falcon currently works fine. It just has a shot overdrive, which when that comes out, I'll probably at some point get to digging into that and do a rebuild on the overdrive band. That's a ways out though, especially when you can pick up transes for $300-400 bucks. Is it worth trying to rebuild? It's not worth sending them out to get done, that's for sure. Not spending $1,500 bucks or so on a trans. 300, I'll gamble on that. So we'll see what we're going to do on that one. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We will catch you on the next one.